Coming up on today's show, we'll be talking about the possibility of Superman returning to the DCEU.
We'll go through this week's big releases, including Spencer.
We've got interviews with the biggest stars from Marvel's Eternals.
And we'll take you through all the special screenings we've got coming to Cineworld in December.
And welcome to What's On at Cineworld Cinemas. I am Luke Owen.
And I'm Ollie Davis.
Let's talk about DC's Black Adam. I mean, it's got an incredible cast already, you know. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
He's been in that movie for 10 years now.
10 years
finally
plus,
getting made.
I reckon. Like, he's been. Do you remember there was that rumor? It's like, oh yeah, he's going to be Green Lantern, because like that first photo he took outside of Warner Brothers was wearing like the Green Lantern t-shirt, and I was like, oh my god, he's playing Green Lantern. And he's like, no, I'm going to play Black Adam. 10 years on, I'm actually getting to that role. Got Bronholm in the movie as Dr. Fate because he's going to be taking on the Justice Society of America, who I need to defer to you here as the DC boy of our duo.
Yeah, so you've got the Justice League, they're your big hitters, they are your Avengers, and then you've also got like, well, it depends which timeline you're reading. Sometimes the Justice Society of America is like George Washington in a big cap from this World War II Earth.
No, okay.
But then also it kind of refers to, I don't want to say it, the B team?
The B team?
The B team? So it's just like, you're not, because it always used to be the Justice League of America, JLA back in the day, but then they thought, let's make it a bit more international. So they called themselves Justice League International. And then Justice League International also became a B team because they made the Justice League as a thing, they dropped the International. It's really confusing, but it's not top tier sort of superhero names. You won't get Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash in the Justice Society of America.
You get Hawkman.
Because, yeah, they're fleshing out a larger heroic universe, I suppose, for Black Adam.
Here's my guess as how this conversation went down, and probably why it's taken them 10 years to get this movie made, is that every meeting they've had is The Rock has walked in and be like, so I want to beat up the Justice League in the movie. And Warner Brothers was like, you can't beat up the Justice League. He's like, no, I'm not doing it unless I can beat up the Justice League.
Well, am I going over, brother?
Exactly.
Essentially, he did the same thing to WWE. Am I beating John Cena?
Am I beating it?
I'm in.
And so the way they got around this is like, okay, you can beat the Justice Society of America.
You see, I've got a different version of how this went. Rock walks in to DC headquarters. Jeff Johns there like, oh my God, wear my Green Lantern t-shirt, please. And he's like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna beat up Superman in this first Black Adam movie. And they go, actually, we're gonna use Superman on another project. You can't have Superman. Like, okay. I use the Flash. And they just keep on going through things as DC are like, now I'm going to make a solo movie out of him.
Yeah.
I'm going to make us... And like, who are we not going to use? Hawkman.
Dr. Fate?
They're really good characters, though. Honestly, Justice League International, a Judd Winnick run in the sort of mid-noughties, is one of the best comic books I've ever read. As you've seen with Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, it's not about the prestige level of the characters. It's more about how they're written and treated.
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate
Bronholm.
makes me very excited.
Bronholm. Black Adam. I'm looking forward to having Bronholm back on the screen.
Then maybe you shouldn't be living here. Get a bit of Bronholm tapping in.
But we're actually here to talk about this. So someone sent The Rock a panel from a comic book, and it is Black Adam meeting Superman. And basically what they were suggesting was, the fan who sent this was, this should be in the movie. This should be the end of the movie.
Like the end of the, like the post-credits.
Yeah, your P-credits.
Post-credits? The mid-credits.
Could be mid-credits or P-credits.
Right at the end.
But like they were saying, in, I would say, an arrogantly way, hey Rock, I'm not telling you how to do your job, but this is how you should do your job. And The Rock responded to this by saying, I'm going to get the direct quote here from the tweet. I like it. Sort of how I always envisioned it. Except the handshake at the end, never wrong guy.
So, yeah, that panel, that sort of comic book page, has Superman meeting Black Adam. They both stare at each other, and they both shake hands. And I would say the shaking hands is the whole point of that page. So what Rock's saying, in a very polite way to this fan, is, I completely disagree.
Thank you for sending this to me. You're an idiot, though. I've had a meeting where I said I wanted to beat up Superman ever since we started this project. They kept saying no, but this is how I envisioned it. But more with me punching him in the face.
But you said to sort of build on this idea. There's no way I think we'll see Superman, even in a post-credits for Black Adam. I just don't think that's DC's direction right now. They're very much focused on these individual solo movies. They're moving a bit away from the interconnected verse. You've got Flash in development, of course, and that looks really, really exciting with 100 Batmans in it.
Well, yeah, Batfleck's back.
Yeah.
Batfleck.
Superman, would you recast him? Is this a Black Adam in the DCEU, or is it a Black Adam in sort of a old-fashioned solo movie sense, like the Joker's been?
Bearing in mind that he's going to have a showdown with Shazam, surely, at some point. Surely that's what we're building to with this. That's why you did the Shazam solo movie. We've got Shazam Fury of the Gods. They are like the same thing. They're the same world and same universe. In Shazam's world, that is within the DCEU. That is in the world with Cavill Superman and Batfleck. So if there is going to be a Superman in a Black Adam movie, it would have to be Henry Cavill Superman.
Yeah, I think that... Well, we've got a quote from Cavill as well,
so Cavill not quite directly responding to this idea. Someone just said to him, it's like, I think if you get like 5 minutes with Henry Cavill to talk about a movie that he's doing, you're probably going to ask, are you going to be Superman again? That's what I would do. And he responded, there's still a lot of storytelling for me to do as a Superman. As a Superman, not the Superman.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely love the opportunity. There's an opportunity for growth after that to explore the psyche of Superman as a deep, seemingly invulnerable godlike being, but with a real feeling on the inside. As I always say, the cape is still in the closet.
Credit to Cavill, he is always saying that.
Can't
the
stop
cape's
him.
in the closet.
Can't stop him for saying
always
it.
In the closet.
Every movie he shows up in, Mission Impossible 5, by the way, cape's still in the closet.
Don't look too much at my moustache.
Yeah.
The cape's in the closet. You know where it is.
So you don't think, then, we're likely going to see Cavill back as Superman, despite the fact that he seems open to it? Or do you think that is just Henry Cavill saying something to the press to kind of stop people asking the question?
He always says it, though. He is
forever
always
saying
the cape's in the closet, guys. I cannot see DC in this sort of next few years of movies setting up a Superman versus Black Adam movie. I think Black Adam, as great as a character as he is, and he really, really is a fascinating character in the comics, he's just public perception-wise, I don't think he's at the level to immediately put him alongside a Superman.
But The Rock is.
That is a very good point. Star power-wise, The Rock might trump the Black Adam name there. The thing that gets me curious...
Maybe just rename it The Rock versus Superman.
Yeah. All movies now. The thing that does make me a bit more interested in it is how DC are currently positioning their main comic books, which I've been reading. So Brian Michael Bendis, he's sort of like the big Marvel creator. He's jumped ship to DC, and now he is writing Justice League and Superman. And the main story they're telling this year is Black Adam joining the Justice League. His relationship with Superman, they've got very different ideologies. Black Adam is very much, no, I've got Kandak, which is where he lives. I'm just going to protect them. They come first. Whereas Superman is more, sort of egalitarian. He's like, no, all lives matter the same amount. And as we saw with like Marvel pre-MCU, where they suddenly were just like, yeah, don't look at the X-Men.
Yeah.
Comic book direction has dictated what comes next on the screen.
That was going to be my question, because Marvel have, particularly in the last 10 years, with the rise of the MCU, have changed the way that they're coming. Like, if they're going, like, as soon as they announced Guardians of the Galaxy as a movie, they were like, now let's do a Guardians of the Galaxy comic. And once that movie became a huge hit, they were like, brilliant, now do loads of Guardians of the Galaxy comics. Everyone gets a spin-off comic because now they're a popular thing. We need to reflect that in the comic books. So you're saying you reckon the comic books could reflect what we're going to see in the movies? If Black Adam and Superman are quite focused upon in the comic books, I mean, the movie's out next year.
Yeah, I don't think for Black Adam, maybe Black Adam 2, which
P-creds.
could be set up in the P-creds. Yeah, with The Rock as a name, I think it's a possibility.
We talked about this a bit last week. It's now in its full release. Spencer is out in cinemas. You were really taken by this movie and the style of the film.
I was taken by it. I just think the texture of the movie has a real tangible quality to it. It feels like it is off-cut reporter journalist footage from the 90s. And I said last week, like, a 3-day biopic on Princess Diana in the 90s? It's not my cup of tea. But I picked it as my film of the week last week, I think, or last night in Soho. And since then, I've learned that the director is Pablo Larraín, who I think is one of the most exciting directors in the world, really. So yeah, I want to see it even more now.
The other film you can check out this week is Cry Macho, which is seemingly very different from Spencer in a way. This is Clint Eastwood's latest effort. And I mean,
don't say latest effort.
Well,
He's a legend.
Oh, I know he's not like a latest. Oh man, he's really trying here. Bless his soul.
He's really some respect.
I'm not saying latest effort in a negative way. Like that's what you say when you're talking about movies. Is that okay? It's his latest magnum opus. Is that what you want me to say?
There we go. It's Gran Torino in a cowboy hat.
It's his latest Western-style movie here. Gruff old man Clint Eastwood doing at his most gruff old man as well. Clint Eastwood being sent to find this teenage boy and sort of take him back across the country back to his parents. Is that sort of the plot of the film?
Yeah, and it's the trailer. I really recommend it because about 45 seconds of it seems to be one of the pivotal speeches in the film where they're just in the car, Clint and the teenage boy that are driving back. And he just says this very eloquent thing about don't be macho all the time, kid. And, hearing those words from Clint Eastwood, he's pop culture-wise one of the main figures of that image, I think is really powerful. And there's a fighting chicken who's with the boy, and he's called it macho. Yeah. And Clint Eastwood's like, you called your cock macho.
And we can say that.
Because it's a cock.
Because it's also a line in the trailer.
And it's about a chicken.
Yeah. I'll be amazed if this manages to stay in the edit. We're going to talk about
the chicken talks.
We're going to talk about the Eternals in just a few moments. But before we do, here is Carla from Cineworld talking with Kit Harington, Camille Nanjiani, and Salma Hayek.
I'm from a theatre background, so I love the theatre, and I trained in theatre, and it's probably my first love. And it struck me when we premiered this movie just quite how similar these two mediums are, cinema and theatre. And they're not so different than I thought they might be, actually. And hearing the reactions of people and hearing them laugh at bits of this movie and sort of feeling humans around me was something that we've missed, and it's a special thing, shared experience.
I think people are going to have a lot of fun watching this movie more than anything else. There are obviously like thematic stuff and philosophies that they'll take away from it, but more than anything, this movie's so big and it's so fun. It has so many different things in it. It's like exciting to watch. There's romance, there's drama, there's comedy. It's just like a really, really fun movie to see in theater. So more than anything, all that other stuff is great, but people are going to have a blast watching this movie.
And they're going to have a lot to talk about. And I think Marvel fans love to have things to talk about and to try to discover, because there's some things that you have to really pay attention. And so I think this is the perfect film, more than even than the others, that I watched it now a couple of times. And even I was shooting and I'm like, oh, wow, I just saw what that meant. And I just saw what that meant. And so I think that everybody's going to walk out with something different, which is great. And it opens up conversation.
I've now seen Eternals, and it is pretty much everything that I was hoping that it was going to be. Like big. Well, big is exactly what I would.
Diverse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I saw it on IMAX, so big it was. So we were talking last week about how there were a lot of reviews coming up being like, you aren't ready for sort of how really good the Eternals is, because I think not many people are massively into the idea of the Eternals. Or like I feel like the MCU has sort of taken a few steps back since Endgame. We had Black Widow, then Shang-Chi was this like, oh man, that was really good. And I think the Eternals is the next step of that. I was like, oh wow, that's really good as well. I'm now really getting back into the MCU again. It has got an incredibly exciting mid and post-credit sequence as well that a lot of people have been like, no one saw it coming. And that was also incredibly exciting. But aside from just like, here are some teasers for future movies, the film itself is really, really great.
Yeah, I really want to see it. Like I've said, Chloe Zhao is a brilliant visual filmmaker. And it's tapping into that. I like space stuff at the end of the day.
Yeah, you do like space stuff,
I like
don't you?
big space opera stuff. And I know it takes place on planet Earth, but they're celestial beings. It's a big intergalactic soap opera. So this is really made for my specific niche superhero taste. I don't know how many more good movies Marvel will have to make before people stop saying, oh, I'm surprised this is good.
I know. We've got an Academy Award-winning director. Yeah. Man, it's good. Yeah. Who'd have thunk that?
We're over 24 whatever films it is in a widely regarded the best, most consistent franchise ever.
Yeah.
It's what? It's worth going to see in the cinema.
Colour me shocked. You can also check out Last Night in Soho, Dune, Venom, Let There Be Carnage,
The Boss Baby 2, The Voyage Home.
I mean, really, you could just do a run of Star Trek ones if you wanted to.
The Boss Baby 2, Wrath of Khan.
Yep.
Can I do them in order?
Oh, that's a good chance. I mean, I know what the next one is.
The Boss Baby 2, the motion picture. The Boss Baby 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
The Boss Baby 2, Search for Spock.
Well, there you
the
go.
Boss Baby 2, The Voyage Home.
Yep.
Boss Baby 2, oh, The Final Frontier.
There it is.
The Boss Baby 2, Undiscovered Country.
Yes. I nearly said a different one.
Well, The Boss Baby 2, Generations. That fits. The Boss Baby 2, First Contact.
Yep. That's what I nearly said as 6.
The Boss Baby 2,
Where am I now?
Nemesis.
Yes, yeah.
The Boss Baby 2.
Really bad one. Basically, it felt like a TV episode, but on the big screen.
Yeah. Aunt Troy and...
It was also the name of a WWF pay-per-view in the UK.
Insurrection!
There it
The
is.
Boss Baby 2 Insurrection. Are there any more Next Gen ones after that?
No, then it's Boss Baby 2.
Star Trek.
J.J.
Boss Baby
Abrams.
2 Into Darkness. Boss Baby 2 Beyond. Of course, that film is called Boss Baby 2 Family Business. Run's gone wrong and no time to die.
What's your pick of the week?
Wrath of Khan.
Again,
Always.
always
You know
Wrath
what?
of Khan.
I love Voyage Home. It's a lot of fun. My pick of the week is Eternals, because I'm actually going to see it this weekend.
Yeah, Eternals again for me as well. But not next week. Next week it's going to be Ghostbusters Afterlife, because of course it's going to be good. It's the best movie of the year. Pre-book your tickets for it now.
He's not seen it yet.
Pre-book your tickets for it now. It's the best film ever made, apart from the first one, which is legit the best film ever made. It's the best sequel ever made. I'm crying
What about
thinking about
Ghostbusters
it.
2?
It's not a great movie. I'm crying already thinking about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Pre-book your tickets for it right now in the video description down below. Because I'm seeing it on Screen X, which I'm dead excited about.
On Monday.
And here is why I'm dead excited about seeing it. Rocky's back!
I thought you were doing Indiana Jones.
It's close, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the big screen, Rocky 4, the director's cut, is coming to the big screen. Are you excited?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen Rocky 4? Oh, it's so good.
I've only ever seen the first Rocky movie.
Yeah?
I've got a master's in film studies. And yet people think I should have seen all the Rocky sequels.
It's because you were too busy watching French
French
expressionists.
cinema from the 1930s, yes.
So what you're saying is Rocky's not French enough for you to really be worth your time.
I think it lacks poetic realism. Yeah.
Is it the robot in 4?
Yeah. I should go and see it. Everyone says it's got the best montage ever.
Oh, it's
got the
so
best
good.
soundtrack ever.
Oh yeah, by Stan Bush no less.
Yeah.
It's so great. Who did Transformers the movie? It's an incredible, and Vince DiCola as well, who did the Transformers the movie OST. That is going to be out on the 25th of November, and for the first time in IMAX and in 4DX, although that is not the first time, it has been in 4DX before, but for the first time on IMAX, The Matrix is back on the big screen, the biggest screen.
I don't actually look at what we're talking about before we say it out loud. So that was a genuine reaction, like the Pizza Hut taste card thing the other week. Wow. Yes. No, I'm very much into that. Of course, the new Matrix film is out in December. I rewatched them all a couple of years ago, and they stand up, and there is a good movie in Reloaded and Revolutions.
Yeah, there
But
is.
if I was to see one in the cinema, it would definitely be the first one.
Oh, man.
And IMAX as well.
All that 90s technology in IMAX. Oh, I can't wait. The telephones, the massive PCs, the leather. The leather's going to look so good. On the 7th of December, we've got The Nightmare Before Christmas. And then from the 4th of December, it's that Harry Potter marathon. Like last week, I'm going to pick up my notes here to read this verbatim so I don't get anything wrong. 4th of December, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets. 5th of December, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire. 11th of December, Order of the Phoenix and the Half-Blood Prince. Then the 12th of December, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. But one of the entries on this, because we're doing loads of special screenings at the moment, the one that gets me up in the morning. On my birthday,
Is it really?
December 14th, Elf is being shown. I love Elf so much.
Oh, him!
I don't think this is too much of a surprise to anyone. I cry every time I see it.
Yeah.
Every single Christmas.
Where do you cry?
So it's when, spoilers for the movie, when the dad starts singing.
Same. I've been, because I watch this film every year. I think everyone does now. Didn't get to see it in the cinema last year, but I often go to the cinema to watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, without fail, cry in the cinema. Cry at home when it's on at 2:00 with my family.
On Christmas
and they're not
Day.
crying.
I know, it seems weird, but why are you crying at the Elf movie? Because the little girl is going to get the Christmas present that she wants.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh,
That gets me.
That gets me every time.
Must be another, when they read out the Barbie Playhouse and it's like the biker pub.
Yeah.
It must be another guy. That bit gets me going. Love it.
So anyway, go see it on the big screen and cry with us.
As for event screenings, we've got the multi-Tony Award-winning musical Anything Goes on the 28th of November.
Christmas with Andre on the 4th of December.
And the Met Opera Live's performance of Eurydice on the 4th of December.
Thank you to everyone who came to the unlimited screening of King Richard. We got some amazing feedback for that. But it's not our only one we've got for the rest of this month. On the 23rd of November, Pirates. I've watched the trailer for it. It's not that kind of Pirates. I've watched the trailer for it again, and this looks like right up my street. I love British comedy movies like this. I like that car. While that style of music is not my scene, it does take me back a little bit.
It's like Spencer.
Yeah.
It's that 90s nostalgia that's everywhere at the moment.
But that's all we've got time for on this edition of What's On. Please download the podcast version of this show where we've got extra bonus content, intros and outros, going through your comments left on these videos available from all podcast platforms. You can also click the link in the video description down below to book tickets for any of the movies that we have talked about today. I have been Luke Owen.
I've been Ollie Davis.
And that's What's On.